In life, there are individuals who thrive on impacting their society positively, doing good to their fellow human beings. For some others, they do not see it as a necessity. But when we come across those individuals who believe that it is important to their survival to impact others positively, we seek to celebrate them as we welcome you to another lovely time on Executive Discourse. I am Ololade Adeniji. On this week's episode of the program, I have with me a philanthropist because he is somebody who is big on giving back to the society that has made him who he is. He is a grassroots politician, he is a journalist, he is an influencer, and of course in his local domain, they refer to him as the president's man because he is one of the representatives of President Muhammadu Buhari. Please join me as we welcome to Executive Discourse today, the Executive Director of the National Film and Video Censors Board, Alhaji Adedayo Thomas. Hello, sir. How are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
Very well, thank you.
Thanks for bringing me on board.
Thank you very much, too, for honoring our invitation. Now, as I usually want to do with my guests, tell us your background. Where were you born? Where did you grow? And what was it like for you starting off in life?
Like you rightly said, my name is Adedayo Thomas. Matana, I'm from Lagos State. A true indigene on one side, Ologo on island. On the other side, Mafoluku Elemo compound, Oshodi, Solo local government, Oshodi. I was born by a technocrat, father, and of course, a business-minded mother. Then back at Oshodi in 1967, I went to school. My primary school was in Lagos, Jewish African Church Primary, Nostrum Primary School. That was directly opposite Kalakuta Republic. For secondary school, I attended two known, Olalua Muslim Grammar School, and of course, Abeokuta Grammar School. Olalua Muslim Grammar School is in Ado-Ekiti, and the other one is in Abeokuta. I left for Kwara Tech. Then it was Kwara Tech. We had this last set of Kwara Tech. And when I left for Kwara Tech in 1985, 86, I finished in 88 in Kwara Tech before proceeding to University of Jos, where I have my first degree, which happened to be theater arts. I left and I served in Makurdi in 91, 92, before again proceeding to educationally to Nigerian Defense Academy, where I had my master's. I did a couple of professional masters and diplomat from Cato Institutes in the US, Atlas Economic Research Foundation also in the US. Well, my background has been, I'll say I'm lucky for having the kind of parents I have. On the other side, we have the disciplinarian, who happen to be my father and look into what we do on a daily basis and things like that. And we have, as usual, the soft touch of mother, who is equally in business. But when it comes to education and moral upbringing, the two of them don't take it lightly with us. So we grew knowing that, and that's one of the reasons why my parents did not send any one of us to secondary school in Lagos.
So it's safe to say that the background you had has shaped you into the man you are today.
You're right.
I also know that you attended the University of Jos, where you studied theater arts. Maybe we should take it from there. That began your foray into the North, because I know that today some people even see you as more of a Northerner than, a Southerner. How did you get into politics?
If I have to, it started when I was very young, but if I have to cut it, I'll pick it from Kwara Tech. When I was in Kwara Tech, then myself and some group of others too, we were always agitating for what is missing, what is lacking. So at a point, that goes on and on. Then when, like joining a student union, and at a point, it was generally, I can't remember the government, they prescribed all student unionism. So what we did was, at that time, Nigeria was equally fighting for South Africa independence. So myself and a couple of others asked to form Youth Solidarity for South Africa in Nigeria, USAN. I think headed by Benga Olai Wipo. One time PDP publicity secretary. Yes. Then I happened to be the vice when we were in Kwara Tech. So it continued like that. From that point, we went back to, I left in 88 to Jos. And I saw myself like, having to, because I confronted a lot of issues with the authority when I was in Kwara Tech. But when I finished, when I got to Jos, I said, okay, let me concentrate on education. But I discovered that the student union generally has to even fish me out. So I concentrated in writing, bulletin, and we have to go into the dojo to go and be, press. There is nothing like computer whatsoever. We have to carry the pin by ourselves. So that took me far into University of Jos doing that underground. But immediately I finished, I couldn't even hold it. Not knowing it's within me. So I have to join IPC, International Press Center, with Larry Aruk that day, Tunde Aremu, and co. So we were like that, agitating against military and doing. Then I was the production editor. From there, initially when I was in school, I'd look at socialism, Marxist theory, and whatsoever. But having the opportunity of traveling abroad all the time and going to conferences like that, I discovered a couple of books, Bastards, then read deep into Adam Smith and things like that. Now discover that, well, the system we're operating is not actually, like in Africa, it wasn't actually a socialist enclaves or communism enclave as we look at it. It's a different thing entirely. Africans are energetic and things like that. So I started encouraging people to voice out in their own, no matter how little. Somebody took me on a social trip to one of the islands in Lagos under Amuodofin, thank you. So it took me there. The only government presence in that place was the only primary school built by Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Aside from that, nothing again. There is no hospital, nothing, no good water. In fact, you couldn't even get to the island by road. So you have to get to under Apapa Bridge. Then you take so people are living here very terrible. So you see, the humanitarian thing in me started coming out. So I sourced for money and I built the only primary care center on that island. Although I'm not from Amodofi, I'm from Ushodi, but humanity is humanity. So I did that. And in most cases, people still come back to me to come and say, what do we do in this village when there is election? Okay. So that they want me to tell them which direction they should go. I say, they have the freedom. I'm not going to be there. I'm going to be in Ushodi. And at Ushodi as well, people started agitating I should contest. Okay. So we ran into the primaries. We were like party supreme. I was asked to step down for my contending partner. That I did. But then I have a strong affiliation with General Buhari ever since, from the time he was military head of state. So it's like I've always been following with his reforms and activities. So by the time he came back into politics too, I had my tent with him, everything that he fashioned either from the north or, So I put it up my head, up to, the local government side. So that's how I kept on until the time my people started, you must contest, you must contest. And I was about contesting as well, the second phase. Then they dissolved the local government. Then I was made one of the supervisory councillor in Oshodi Solo local government.
Your mother obviously had a lot of influence on you, because even your name, you still take up her name, Aduke Thomas. Tell us about her.
Aduke Thomas is a fantastic woman. May Almighty Allah grant her Aljana. She's a mother that even if there's another word, I'll prefer God to still give me that same mother. Not belittling my father. Most children are tuned to their mothers. The fathers are the hard type, the strong one, the correctional one, and things like that. So, but unknowingly, the thing flows. We're so close up to the point that it's always very difficult for me when she started getting old to start looking into her face, because I started having that premonition that one day I'm going to lose her. She has a lot of influence, especially when it comes to charity. Okay. She might have her flaws, which I don't know, and I can't pinpoint any, but the issue there is I wish I can be like her in terms of, charity, philanthropist, and human development. Even when I'm angry.
She's the talisman.
Yeah, she's the talisman. They find a way of going to her, and there's always a way. She always cool me down. Hey, Dayo, where are you? And things like that. We'll sit down, we'll eat and say, then she'll start. That's something you are holding, and I think I can collect it from you. And, steadily like that. Those things goes. And some friends too, till they still call me a name. You see, Aduke, because when I'm doing something, or when they feel I'm angry and they probably want to appease me, and they just say, Aduke, Abana. Immediately I hear that, I soft pedal. And again, you see, in the social circle, when we're growing up, we have a lot of Adedayo, Thomas, and things like that. So when they're describing, because of her influence and her wealth, though, at that time, before she died, so when you're describing me, Dayo Thomas, I say, which Dayo Thomas? They say, you don't know Aduke Thomas, Dayo Aduke Thomas, Dayo Aduke Thomas. So that is how the name, yeah, and almost my children bear same name, Aduke.
Returning to your philanthropic gestures, we have taken a trip with you to see what you've been able to do on some of the islands there. But I want to ask you specifically, why that area? We know that you've done so much, even in Oshodi, your constituency. But why in Amuwo Dofin? Why not perhaps maybe even Ologbo, which we can comfortably say are your constituencies? You went out of your comfort zone to carry out philanthropic gestures in other areas outside of your comfort zone.
Well, you'll see that if you genuinely doing something that probably you're not expecting anything from it, then that's what we call philanthropy. And that's giving back to the society, whatever you get in this world. God has created you to fill a vacuum. God did not say it has to be in your area. When you're going along the road, as Muslim, when you see somebody who genuinely needs something, you must not know that person before you do your own. So it's one of the things that I got from my parent. And secondly, when I have the opportunity of doing that, you have to look at it. Look at communities who don't have a particular thing. If I'd wanted to make a big point out of nothing, I would have probably find a place in Oshodi and build it. Everybody would have been pointing to, hey, this is what he has done. But I genuinely discovered that of the governments, like I said earlier on, that we've been, it's only Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu that has touched the life of those people. Even the local government, as at that time, they did nothing. I'm very sorry to say, as far as I'm concerned, nothing was done. Because how can you have such population and they are giving you votes and they don't have a single primary health care center? They don't even have, to an extension of 13, 15 communities, only one school. So I have to fight all other ways, look into people who genuinely love human being and bring them to bear. And that is when they started building another hospital, I think, another school at Tomaro, which I supervised, and it was completed. So humanity to life should not restrict any one of us. Even if it's a white man that needs a helping hand, you should be able to give. You must not go out of your way, because he who is not standing cannot lift you up. You must not go out of your way to do that. But if you are comfortable enough, we're talking about the hospitals I built. That's one. But then, if it is 50 naira that you can use to uplift another person, you should be able to do that. It's equally the same thing as building an hospital, because it has to be measured with whatever you have. And this was since when? This was 2005, 2006 that I've done that. So humanity, if we're not looking for, there are a couple of favors you look for. Political favors, you remain within your own enclaves. Family favor, you remain within your own enclaves. Economic favor, you remain within the people that you think that can give you back. But if you are looking for the God-given life and favor, and especially Haljono, your philanthropic gesture must not have a border.
Indeed, humanity has no boundaries, and you must impact people's lives positively in whichever way you can. We have been speaking with Alhaji Adedayo Thomas, Executive Director, National Film and Video Censors Board, Nigeria. Let's take a pause here to pay a visit to some of these places that he has had his Midas touch, places, people whose lives he has touched and impacted positively, and we get to meet some of these people. Do stay with us.
Hey, God. If you're better. That's good. Doctor.
My chief. Let's play happy Sunday, sir.
Àlejò ńlá lẹ nílé ni o.
Bíbá o.
Ẹni tó jẹ́ kí mi wà dúró ni o. Thanks the Almighty God for what Alhaji Thomas have done for this community. But seeing him today also now, the communities, they are so very happy that their Messiah has come back. It's like he went to Jerusalem. He now visited the Nazareth today. So we are happy now to see more things in the community. So that is it.
I really appreciate Alhaji. I pray God will continue to be with him. God will bless him. I want him not to relent in efforts to assist us in this most of our challenges we are facing here in Sagbo-Koji.
"24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You can watch NTA International live on your TV, computer, iPad, tablet and phone. Log on to visiontv.co.uk and click on Entertainment, then NTAI. You can also download the iOS or Android app on your mobile devices to watch NTA International on the go, anywhere in the world. NTA International, your window to the world.
Glad to know you're still here with us. The program is Executive Discourse, and we have met people whose lives Alhaji Adedayo Thomas has impacted positively. Now, back to your office, your present office, as the Executive Director, National Film and Video Censors Board. What does it entail?
National Film and Video Censors Board is the only regulatory agency for film, videos, and other related sector of the economy. We license for any film to be produced. After production, we must license and classify the film. And if it's film from outside the country, it has to pass through our board. One, we need to confirm the intellectual property right of whoever that must have sold the film to them. Then we equally need to look at that film and classify it to suit our constitution, morals, and culture. That's one of, we go after what you general people know as pirates. In our own law, it is called uncensored, unclassified works. But the simple language everybody knows about is piracy. So we go after them, we do enforcement. A couple of other things that we do is called media literacy. We go to schools, secondary schools and universities to talk to students about films, what they should look out for, what they should watch, what they shouldn't watch. Day-to-day field operations, meeting people, stakeholders. The stakeholders are the owner of the business. And then we've mandated that we must give the stakeholders back their business. And how best can we do it? You have to go to stakeholders. I've moved all around the country to meet stakeholders, listen to them, seek for their collaborations. And the first time, according to a lot of people that I've had, and with what I've met on ground, I think I'm the only one who has never had a crisis with any stakeholders in the industry. They manage things with us. There are a couple of challenges, but they still see me as somebody who respects them and has given back the industry to them for them to be able to come on board and do the necessary things. So it's been very fruitful, and a couple of development has happened. I was given a free hand by the president, and of course, a couple of people has equally supported me. Alhaji Lai Mohammed, the Minister of Information. I must not fail to mention the Nigerian police, because we cannot work without the Nigerian police. A lot of progress has happened within the period I was appointed, which is about 3 years plus. A lot of progress has happened. The cinema grew from about 18 to 60. The revenue was fantastic from the cinema side. The DVD market has been booming seriously. Our enforcement was so sound. The staff capacity has been built around the country. They live up to expectations. Too many challenges. Platforms, internet platforms who don't censor their films. I can't mention their name here. There's so many. But you see, the National Assembly is looking into that with us. We're equally using the enforcement, supported by police, and they are changing. And revenue to government, even not for COVID-19, would have been very, very marvelous. Because in the last couple of years, like 2-3 years now, we've been able to move closer to agriculture in terms of GDP. And even presently, we're even the third. But the gap is not much, and in terms of labor, we are the highest in this country, employer of labor in this country. So if you look at the multiplier effect of all those things, it's even above what we call the oil and whatsoever. But it's just that our tax, individual tax issues has not been, too coordinated, in terms of data, so that if being the highest employer of labor, and highest, our tax generation to the government, to the purse of the government, was supposed to be huge than any other one. But so far, so good. We're doing good. We're doing good. There are a couple of things that needs to be done. Some few months back, the Honorable Chairman for Information and Ethics in House of Rep looked into our law, and he has presented it to the House, amending our bills, and to reflect the present situation of the economy, because film in the film industry now in the world is taking a higher. In fact, couple of other countries are considering giving film industry a ministry, not even on its own, not even an agency. So Honorable Odebumi is looking into that, and it has gone through the first reading. We're expecting the second reading before the public hearing, so that our laws can meet the world standard. Part of it is the issue of our products being found on internet without classification, and we cannot trace whoever is doing what. So a couple of it, but so far so good. I think, to be fair enough, we have done tremendously well in this administration in terms of film industry. The creative industry has been enjoying the CBN intervention, which is single-digit loan provided by President Muhammad Buhari. It's so good. There is a lot of plans too under the Vice President, under the policy of economic growth issue and ease of doing business, and that is one of the reasons why we're able to have Macron.
Emmanuel Macron, the French president.
Yeah, the French president. Since he came, it is only the investors that he brought. It's only the film industry they've been able to look at. And before the COVID-19 started, they've already completed the biggest cinema in West Africa, which is located between Abuja and Nasarawa, Nyanya Aziz, which with a very big stage and concert space. And they're doing same thing around Lagos, about 3 or 4 places in Lagos. So it's a happy days it has been a happy days for us, and I'm very sure ahead by
Happier
the time we
days are
get
coming.
over this. Yes, we'll all be fine.
Still talking about what you do as the executive director of the National Film and Video Census Board, you mentioned earlier that one sore point that we've been having to tackle and which your organization has also had to face headlong has been the issue of piracy. We know that at some point, yes, you've collaborated with the police to seize a lot of this unclassified works and all of that. How far have we gone? Because you and I know that even the laws that are in place presently to fight piracy are neither here nor there.
Laws need reforms all the time. Like, if I have to tell you, if we arrest you, the penalty after how many years in court will be about 500,000 or 3 months imprisonment. That needs to change, and we're doing that seriously. But then, that does not mean the law has not been applied and working. There's so many the National Assembly are doing that, you know, it has to take time. And if not COVID-19, will anybody who have been using visual censorship, visual this, visual that? But you see, there is a lot of inventions coming out that will even make our job easier and the law applied. Court cases now, you see, are done virtually on, you know, on Zoom. That's part of the things that we're going to tap into as the entire situation settles. We're really doing well so far with the law, but there's a lot still to be done in terms of that law. We won't say it's sleeping. No, it's not sleeping. It's a moving machine, and that is why our enforcement has been so boosted up. We've boosted the enforcement and operation up to the point that we have seized and at least burnt over 1 billion naira worth of pirated pornographic films and every other things like that. We've made a couple of arrests, and some of them were still in court. So I think the law is fine, but we just need to would I say update it, or, you know, that's exactly what the National Assembly are looking into. And I'm very sure before the end of this year, something is going to come out beautifully well that will make the enforcement so possible and easy.
Fantastic. We're looking forward to that, I mean, on behalf of filmmakers in Nigeria. Now, let's return again to politics. One thing I've always wondered about, and I'm sure our viewers will get to see what I'm talking about, your base in Oshodi is known as Buharis House. How come? It's a White House, and I'm sure our viewers are seeing that as we speak. What's exactly gave birth to that name?
You see, in the entire Oshodi, I can say, in the entire local government, I can say, I'm somebody, like I said earlier, who believe in President Muhammad Buhari's ideology. And before my late mother, my mother never had any interest in politics. And I inherited that house, of course, from her. And the only time he had politics, he had interest in politics, and throughout that period was when Buhari contested to be the president in 2015. I say, I'm supporting this woman, I'm supporting this man, and whatever it takes you, Dayo, I'm giving you blessing, go and do it.
Your mother?
My mother.
Wow.
So when I approached that period, that this house is conspicuous, I want to use it so that when we're doing distribution of flyers, campaigns, organization, and things like that, we can always use it. He said, no, go and have it. So when people are coming from different locations and things like that, when we're giving them house, so Okada people and the community are saying, that Buhari's house. Because the pictures and everything that goes on in that place it has to do with Buhari. So people come from different places and say, we're going to Buhari's house. They said this. When they hear of any information, they want to confirm whether it is true or not. Whatever is happening in the society, they say Buhari's house. When they want to people still read newspapers every day we have to supply newspapers there. Wow. When they say, where are you going? Okay, let's meet in Buharis House.
So what we're saying in essence is it's actually the community, members of the community that named the house Buharis House.
So you don't need an address, you don't need anything. When you enter Oshodi, whoever you see, except that person is not living in that environment, just ask for Buharis House. That's the only Buharis House in the entire local government. So, and it becomes like a non-profit building now, where during matches, people come, have a screen, watch, come and read newspapers, students come and ask something, people computer there, they want to fill INEC form, they want to feel like NTA form or something the government is doing. There are always people in that place
to attend to them. Wow. Wow. Alhaji Adedayo Thomas, from all that you have said, you're obviously a very busy man. Take us through your normal day-to-day activities.
Before going through that, let me first appreciate my family and friends. They realize the kind of job that I'm involved with. Routine-wise, I don't sleep when it is. Even if I have to go and sleep by 3 a.m., I must wake up by 5. And from that 5, it depends on what has been scheduled. Now I'm in Lagos, home here, because of the public holiday. But then tomorrow, if something happened, because operations, like we're police, so we don't have holiday. We have to be at alert. If something happened, I have to stand up again and go somewhere else. I sleep, then wake up in the office, attend the problems. So it's, I don't have a standard routine. The job determines that. But definitely, I have to be at the head office to attend to files on a weekly basis, especially when it is important and when meeting is called, I have to do that. But on a weekly basis, I'm either in one police station, we're either in one hidden, pirated shops or corner or factory. We're either dealing with the court issues, then come back to staff as well, deals with the staff welfare and make them understand what is really going on. So those are constant. Those are constant things. Like I fight all the time, and within it, if I have the gigs call me, the stakeholders, they can decide to call me at any point in time in Onitsha. That we have crisis with your board, you have to come. I said there is a zonal coordinator. They said no, you'll be the one to resolve. So I have to run to Onitsha. I might be in Onitsha. There might be something as notorious as Alaba. Then I have to rush to Lagos. From that point, maybe I have to head to Kano. Say there is a fee, terrible, some other issues. But what I know is within a week, at least, I go into police station, I go into ironing, discussing crisis with stakeholders and several other things like that. I think my body chemistry is used to it, but it's just that the family suffers.
Exactly what I was going to ask you. How much time do you have for your family in all of this?
Well, that you can't have all. What I can say is God has given me one of the best things in life was to have seen your children grown to a particular level where they can equally stand on their own. But in terms of time for them, no, you can't. When you're serving the society at that level, the family needs to understand that God has not created those things to work hand in hand. So
one has to suffer for the other.
One has to suffer for the other. So that's why I said, let me appreciate them before I continue. They knew it, and they know the country needs what? Needs people like me to stand up. Even my children get a lot of information from me. Oh, they read. So they are equally involved. They even tell me this is what they saw on TV. Is this supposed to do this? This is what is happening. They read what is it called, an article somewhere saying this. How far it is true, So, and since they are disposed to the social media a lot as well, so I tell them the truth about the government, not only about my industry, but the government policy, which is true, and they send it out. So invariably, I now see them to be part of it. So I don't have any problems with them. But immediately I come into Lagos, they all knew. We'll be together in Oshodi. They will know I'm downstairs in Buharis House, but they might be upstairs, but they know at least we are together because, again, the government did not give me the position to say it's my family. The position is coming from the government to a constituency.
All right. Well, it's still executive discourse, and I have been speaking with Alhaji Adedayo Thomas. Somehow, the family has suffered a bit, even though the little time he gets, he tries to spend with them. But let's find out from the members of his family, actually, what kind of a family man is he, a father, a husband, and possibly a grandpa. Let's get to meet the members of the family.
Alhaji Adedayo Thomas is a nice person, very jovial, frank, is somebody that we say it as it is, no matter whose us is God, and he will not be sorry about it. But all in all, he's a very friendly and down-to-earth person when it comes to dealing with people.
That your harbors passion. He harbors passions for this community. He harbors progress for this community. He harbors anything good, values, moral values for this community. And that's why we have synchronized. We have been working together for the past 30 years right now.
It wasn't easy at all because someone that is well disciplined and he doesn't allow you to do any nonsense, but he's strict and he wants what he wants. Oh, now like a lot has changed growing up then and now. It's like he's like a friend now, a father turned friend. He's nice, disciplined, and I guess he's a workaholic.
He might come across like he's a very hard-headed person, but deep down he's a very calm, hardworking, and an honest man. I mean, most of the time he let me make my decisions, but yeah, he will definitely give me an advice from his point of view, and I always like weigh both of them together, then we'll come into a conclusion. So he's always involved in my life. So
it's been a wonderful one. He has not differentiated between any of us, and has been there to support me personally, and yeah, it's been a great experience. He's a very busy person, but when he's actually at home, you feel his presence, and everywhere is always lively and jovial. He's very loving, caring, and a cheerful giver, and supportive.
He's a nice person. He's an honest person. He takes care of me. When he travels, I come back, he buys stuff for me. He's a honest man, and he's nice, really careful. He buys stuff for me.
Oh, yeah.
My husband is a very nice man. He's very nice, he's a very caring man, but he's very tough. I have good experience with him. He's very caring, taking care of the kids and the family, taking care of me also. And he's very nice, but he's very tough.
Did you hear that? He is a tough man. You heard that too.
I think so.
Madam said, you are a tough man. Can you expatiate on this for us? Because she kept harping on that. And even from the kids, as much as I said you were loving, that you're a no-nonsense man.
Yeah, you see, I studied my parents very well. And I studied most of my friends' parents as well. And mostly African parents. You see, when they're together, the mother is, in most cases, is always on the soft side, pet, and allow some certain things to go. But as far as I'm concerned, I don't.
You don't spare the rod to spoil the child.
No. You get all the basic things that a child can get. Even she, as the wife and the mother of the house, she gets all the basic things that she can get.
But nothing outside the basics.
But outside the basics that can put us in trouble, that can put us in bad light, I don't condole it. So and for you to have guys, grown-up guys, and especially within what is really happening, you know more than them. So all you do is to sit down and say, okay, this is it. We knew we have to, compromise one or the other in one way or the other. But then, you must not go out of your track. Naturally, I'm not going to allow anybody. If I'm outside till 10, 11, I might probably be in a conference with stakeholders. Whatever time they give to me, that's it. But I can't see any of them being outside at that time. I'm a very strong one. Nobody can change that. As long as we're still together under one roof as allowed by Africa, no, you can't change that. If you have to do that, probably you have to be in a friend's house or a family house that you're going to sleep. And that we will have heard about it. So you can't just tell me tomorrow, my friend is doing his birthday. I said, that means you're not important. He's supposed to have. You don't plan birthday, you don't plan big thing in a day too.
You ought to have given
You have, yeah,
notice.
enough. So in that situation, I don't. So it makes me tough. Even my wife, when something goes wrong at home, instead of her to treat it that way, she only threatens that your father will soon come.
Okay.
So, and when I come in, when I come in, I only sit. And by the time you talk to me, only my eyes. I don't beat my children. Only my eyes are enough to tell you, no, I won't take it any longer. So you don't know whether I'm going to do something to you tomorrow, I'm not going to do anything to you or whatsoever. I'll just keep quiet and tell you, you did this? You mean you are my son, you're my daughter, you did this? Then I leave them to go and digest it.
Wow. That's a serious one.
Give me one. How are you?
Fine.
I'll read you. I called you now.
The tough man. How do you get to relax?
Oh, well, so far so good. Every time I'm in the office, I listen to music. That cools my nerves as I walk. If I'm in the car, I do the same. And when I'm home, after discussing with the family and playing with them, if I get sound sleep, for now, it is not over until it is over. I hardly do what people expect, maybe relax or whatsoever. I hardly do that. I have so many things running. But family engagement, if they are lucky, I'll have a little time and attend that. Friends ceremony, if I try to squeeze my time once in a while to do that. And I don't play with the family meetings.
Yes, you don't.
Yeah. So that are part of the things I do outside work.
Okay.
But to say I'm taking a trip, so even if I go unofficial, it's maximum 4 days, I'm back. But you see, being in the film industry is equally a layer time for me to do censorship. At times I had censorship to cinemas.
Okay.
So that period, even as I work mentally, I still consider it as what?
Leisure.
As a layer period. And for the family not to suffer as well, I take them.
Okay.
So, okay, I'm going to be here working. You guys can equally be there watching another film. That's all.
That's interesting. Now, as we begin to take this discussion on a home stretch, Nigeria as it is, yes, we know that we have our challenges, we have our differences. But looking at us as a people, what are your words of encouragement to us, especially at this time? Because these are trying times for everyone. What are your words of encouragement to Nigerians in order for us to move ahead and put aside our differences?
You see, there is actually no differences to me. But it's just the difference is being instigated by unscrupulous elements, which, of course, that alone take them away from being a Nigerian. But from the happenings in the world, and as it relates to Nigeria, we should be thankful to God that we have President Muhammad Buhari as the president this time. The future is extremely bright, more than enough. Even within the COVID, the president released money for infrastructural development. The National Assembly has not stopped about their policies making. And those two things, that thing from the executive is the foundation to sound economy and even political development of any particular country, which we have. The second one is the policy, the law. For the National Assembly to still engage themselves in those things, then I will plead with our people not to think about any other thing but think Nigeria. Nigeria is becoming the US of those days that you know. Because I don't want to compare Nigeria with the present US. Nigeria will overshine a lot of the countries you're talking about today because the foundation has been straightened, founded, and the president is building on it. So if we have that continuity, then you don't need any other place
but Nigeria. You need no other place but Nigeria. I wouldn't let you go also without asking you to speak to the consciousness of Nigerians, especially in the battle against the coronavirus pandemic.
Well, it is real. It is real. I've seen, I've read, I've heard. And the people what has happened, who are close to me, that has happened to. And I would just want to play with you to take all the directives from the government. The issue is, since it started, we have not seen anybody died outside his or her house of hunger. This is Africa. This is Nigeria. Let's live by the rules. Social distance has been released, should be maintained. Regular washing of our hands should be maintained. The use of sanitizer should be maintained. Face mask is very important. Let's do it not because of ourselves, but because of others and for the entire country. We should not have casualties the way it's going if we keep to the directives of the government. I wish all of us well, and I pray that the COVID-19 issue will soon be addressed.
Thank you very much, Alhaji Adedayo Thomas. It's been a pleasure speaking with you. Indeed, Nigeria is the only country we have to call home, and it behoves you and I to ensure that we contribute our own quota in our own little way. That's the size of our package on the program Executive Discourse for this week, a program in which we celebrate trailblazers, people who have made their marks in their different chosen fields of endeavor. Let's meet again next week when we'll be highlighting another individual who is blazing the trail. I remain Ololade Adeniji Adele. God bless Nigeria, and please stay safe. Bye-bye.